Well, members of Parliament Economic Committee from the minority side have raised concerns about the funding source for the government 24-hour plus economy policy. Specifically, they flagged potential issues with proposed tax exemptions for participating companies. The lawmakers want clarity on how these exemptions might impact the national budget and whether the benefit of the policy will outweigh the cost. The scrutiny comes as the government prepares to implement a policy aimed at boosting economic growth and development. Now, speaking at the official launch held at the Accra International Conference Center, President John Dramani Mahama said that the Volta Economic Corridor will serve as the anchor of the 24-hour plus project, driving industrial and agro-processing activities around the clock.
That is our flagship anchor. While the 24-hour plus program is national in scope, our flagship intervention is the Volta Economic Corridor, a transformational effort to unlock the economic and environmental potential of the Volta Lake and its surrounding lands. Ladies and gentlemen, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, envisioned the Volta project at Akosombo not only as a source of power to power Ghana's industrial sector. He also saw it as an integrated project that will provide agribusiness, it will provide lands for agriculture, irrigation. Unfortunately, that aspect of his vision have been lost. Today, we're recreating Kwame Nkrumah's dream.
Also, the president said that government's funding role in the 24-hour plus economy initiative will be catalytic, providing seed capital, while financing will come from banks, development finance institutions, and blended financing.
The finance and implementation institutional frameworks for 24-hour plus. The private sector will lead the 24-hour plus program. Government will facilitate and not dominate. Government will facilitate and not dominate. Any government funding in 24-hour plus will be catalytic, serving as seed funding for the 24-hour plus authority and supporting bulk infrastructure. Enterprise financing will be sourced through commercial banks, DFIs, and blended finance instruments. Fund 24 will address access to capital, collateral constraints, and the short-term nature of most of our banking finance. Credit guarantee schemes will support risk sharing without breaching our fiscal covenants with our multilateral institutions. And as announced, the Secretariat will evolve into an autonomous 24-hour plus authority that reports directly to the President. This policy is made for Ghana in the future. And so when I say report directly to the President, I don't mean only this President. It will report to the next President and the next President and the next President.
Well, Special Advisor on the 24-hour Economy Initiative, Tano, says his outfit is collaborating with the Ministry of Finance as authorities are finalizing a 24-hour plus incentive package aimed at attracting investors.
Secondly, we have presented our 24-hour plus incentives package along with its impact assessment report to the Ministry of Finance for final review and adoption. Our proposals to the Minister of Finance Minister aim to simplify incentives and eliminate unnecessary bureaucratic discretion, thereby discouraging arbitrariness and facilitating the automation of processes.
Now, commenting on the major initiative, Deputy Ranking on Parliamentary Select Committee on Economy and Development, Chenebua Kodiafuko, said Parliament will scrutinize the policy when laid before the House.
Although that makes sense, private people on their own would jump on board if they realize that there's demand for it, effective demand for this program, that they are going to produce more, i.e. producing around the clock, and there are off-takers. Why not? Funding would not be a problem. So if we start talking about funding, if we realize that funding will be, one of the issues, then it tells you we have to ask ourselves the questions that I started with again. But it's telling me there's no funding problem. But I'm coming. Whatever that we are going to use from the government side, if it's not already approved in the March budget, it's going to come. And Parliament will scrutinize it.
Fantastic.
So whatever we're doing, it should make economic sense.
Well, Head of Innovation, Partnerships and Market at the 24-Hour Economic Secretariat, Dr. Ishmael Ni Amano Dodu joins us via Zoom for more. Grateful for your time. We understand that a chunk of the funding is supposed to come from the private sector. What specific contribution are they making towards this particular policy?
Thank you very much. As the President indicated, the government is only giving a viability fund. And what we mean by viability funds is that you set up a program of such magnitude, you have to demonstrate a skin in the game. And so what the government is presenting is actually probably is between 8 to 10% of what is required. And it's just a seed funding for us to be able to set out the program and structure the implementation strategies, start engaging with our financing institutions and being able to put some viability fund to be able to raise the needed financing that is needed. This is a normal practice in financing, architecture, in financial engineering. So I really don't see any challenge around that. It's best practice. If you are going out there to mobilize the borrowing financing for such an undertaking, you have to show a skin in the game. And the skin in the game that the government rightfully had put together is between 8 to 10%, which really would form the seed funding or viability funding for us to mobilize the needed equity or debt or blended financing that we are looking at.
Now, let's look at the incentives for these companies that will be taking part in the 24-hour economy. Many are expressing the fear that the beneficiaries could be party folks. What metrics are you going to use to actually target the specific businesses that will benefit from these tax incentives?
Right. The businesses that will benefit specifically for these tax incentives are businesses that are structured along the value chains or the sectors that we have identified. Those businesses that are operating in the agricultural business sector, those that are operating in the pharmaceutical sector, those that are operating in the garment and textile sector, and those that are operating in the creative sector, as well as those in the digital economy, those structuring fintech and so on, to provide the goods and services that are mainstream across these productive sectors that we have identified. And remember that this program is so different. The difference is that we are doing an investment along the value chain. So if you take, for example, you are a cassava producer. Now, when you produce the cassava, you would receive the needed financing for you to be able to produce the cassava at the right quality, at the right volumes, and the right standards that is needed. Then an off-taker will also receive the financing to be able to take the cassava and transform it into derivative products, whether in cassava flour or in industrial starch or in ethanol. And then another one would also take the ethanol into maybe beer production or some pharmaceutical production, or take the industrial starch into doing packaging that will be needed for other products to go on. Now, along all this value chain, specific businesses that are structured along the value chain will be considered for the funding as well. So what we are trying to do is to be able to unleash the full potential of each value chain and its associated industries or SMEs that are, or enterprises that are going to come out of it. The idea is to have an opportunity to create the jobs that are needed in ways that are very revolutionary and very multiplying.
I believe the point is well made. Thank you so much for your time.
Meanwhile, there has been a massive buyout of the policy by the business community, but Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, says any rollout of the policy must be done in phases and coordinated to align with national development priorities.
24-hour economy can only be materialized if the private sector has a role to play, a direct role to play. The government alone cannot play that without the tacit support of the private sector players. So therefore, we have a responsibility. As we speak today, we have housing deficit, over 1.8 million in arrears as we speak, which means we must make a conscious effort that annually we must provide not less than 250,000 housing to feed the market. We travel a lot, and then we see other economies. We see how they grew. The time is come. We are lagging behind. There's so much opportunities in there. So therefore, if there is an opportunity for us to have access to energy, access to good roads, access to what they call other utilities infrastructure, why not? The private sector will take advantage, not the country entirely, but we can start piloting from some of the major cities and then spread across. And I believe we're good to go.
Let's develop the story further and go on the phone lines and speak to the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industry, Seth Chum Akwawa. He's joining us via Zoom. You're welcome, sir. So are Ghanaians ready for this?
Very much, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, Ghanaians should be ready for this, and we have had the opportunity of engaging the 24-hour secretariat for some time now. So we've been quite involved in a lot of the developments that has gone on, and therefore we cannot say we are not ready. We are indeed ready. And if you look at the Ghanaian manufacturing sector, already some of them operate on a standard hour basis, depending on the demand situation. If the demand is good, they will do 24-hour economy arrangements. So we are ready in so many respects, and we hope that the incentives that have been promised will be provided as promised, and we are ready to work with government to achieve the objective that they've set for this particular policy.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. Now, Stephen, Mensah has been speaking to a cross-section of Ghanaians to gauge their views.
People need employment. So many people need the chance to do. And it brings also competitiveness, because in the public sector per se, where you close and you go, if they compare what you had been able to do within your 8 to 5 p.m. hours and what the night guy too had been able to do, meaning the same desk, you would have different shifts and it will be competitive, you know. They compare your output, your efficiencies, and maybe that could help some of the laziness out. It could push some of the laziness out.
This is a good policy. It will help those who, there are some people who can't work daytime. They would like to work at night, you know, and then at the daytime relax. So at night, there's also a job for them.
When you work the whole day, you are being paid a little. So within 24 hours, you know that maybe when I go to job, I can get this. You can go and then you close early, then you continue with your work that you do as well.
Before any policy introduction, there must be a thorough stakeholder consultation. You understand? But in this sense, there hasn't been any thorough consultation. So the stakeholders and other things coming together to bring their policy and other things so that it will benefit from it, I don't think it is going to be feasible because of lack of that.
Well, away from that, Ghana's gold buying company Gold Board has made a significant buzz, dismantling an illegal gold syndicate involving 10 Chinese nationals in Asankragua. This major operation comes just 48 hours after a new law took effect, prohibiting foreign nationals from engaging in gold trading in the country. Michael Ashali reports.
Barely 48 hours after announcing the end of a grace period for foreign nationals in the gold trade, Gold Board is cracking down. CEO Samik Jemfi says some foreign traders have defied the directive, and now a 10-man Chinese syndicate operating from a private residence in Asankragua has been busted.
10 of them who were hiding somewhere in Asankragua in the western region. Were hiding in a private residence. So we got gold of about 1.3 kg. we got cash of about 1.3 million. So what they do is that they convert the money into casino cards. Casino cards we got, these are not all. We have a lot of them. These are not all. And when you see a casino card like this, it is money. And they are so important to them so that the casino cards were in this two huge safes that we can make available to you for you to photograph. And these are the pieces of the gold bars that we got from them. You can see that for them to have been able to convert the gold into this form, it means that they have a foundry.
We are told by the board that they managed to seize about 1.3 kg of gold, which is estimated to cost a market value of 1.4 million Ghana cedis. As well, they managed to get some cash, which has now been bagged as well. 1.3 million cedis were found on these 10 Chinese nationals that were in Asankragua. Additionally, these assault rifles were also picked up from them. This latest operation marks the 17th successful bust by the Gold Board since the new licensing law came into force. So far, over 34 million cedis in cash and gold have been confiscated, with the Western region recording the highest activity.
The operations that took place at Takwa, Ahojo in the Ashanti region, Denyame, Asankragua, Takwa, Aboso, Obuasi in the Asante region, Asankragua, which is the current one we are talking about. So 17 successful operations. So you're talking about in excess of 12 million Ghana cedis in gold. Then the cash we have seized is also in excess of 24 million Ghana cedis.
Previously, foreign nationals caught in such operations were deported, but not anymore. With the grace period over, the Gold Board says offenders will now be prosecuted in Ghana.
Now the grace period is over, and we have given countless warnings upon warnings. And so when you are arrested now, there will not be anything like deportation. And so we have instructed the investigators to build a watertight case based on this solid evidence that the field operatives have made available to them.
There's expectation that more of these busts will be done across the country to make sure they confiscate more and root out the foreigners in the gold buying business. For JoyNews, Michael Ashale.
Now, President of the Ghana House of Chiefs, Ojiahoho Yao JB II, says the country risks losing the fight against illegal mining if political interference continues. Now, he believes the partisanship surrounding the issue is emboldening perpetrators and weakening enforcement. Now, the paramount chief of SEFI also wants all persons, including chiefs who are complicit in the illegal activity, publicly exposed to deter others from engaging in the act. Stephen Mensah has more on the following report.
An estimated 5,252 hectares of land have been destroyed by illegal mining, a battle the government insists it remains committed to fighting. However, recent attacks on Minerals Development Fund CEO Dr. Hanabisu have sparked widespread public outcry over the effectiveness of the campaign, with many civil society organizations calling for the immediate ban on mining in forest reserves and the repeal of the legislative instrument 2462. President of the Ghana House of Chiefs, Ojiahoho Yao JB II, says excessive political interference has derailed progress. He believes the only way to win is to name and shame all individuals, including chiefs and political actors involved.
These forests were created in 1929. And even the local people were not allowed to go there to collect snails, raffia. But now we are giving this out for people to go and do illegal, irresponsible mining. During the MPP time, we are all blaming Jubilee House. This time, NDC time, we are still blaming Jubilee House. They are involved. Let's speak out. You are media people. Let us all speak out because it affects us. Right now, water, the price of bottled water is rising. Why? Because in the villages, they don't get stream water to drink again. What is our business going to the forest in the first place? Period to the elections, we're all blaming Jubilee House. And it is true. Government officials, and even right now, NDC officials are also involved. So we should all sit down, let us expose them. Go to the village, go to where they are doing it, film them, and name and shame.
Ojiahoya JB II also wants government to develop a robust land zoning policy with key stakeholders to guide proper land use.
We have an Institute of Surveyors, Engineers, are we engaging them? What we should realize that, unlike La Côte d'Ivoire, where government owns almost all the lands, in Ghana it's owned by the chiefs. So it is the responsibility of government and these organizations to approach Nananum. We all sit down and then zone all our cities. This should be an industrial area, that should be there, that should be there, that should be there, so that we don't get a filling station, for example, in a residential area.
Stephen Mensah for Joy News.
Well, still on galamsey, 4 Chinese nationals arrested for allegedly engaging in illegal mining have been remanded by the Bekwai Circuit Court for 2 weeks. A 5th suspect, identified only as Lee, is on the run. According to the police prosecutor, the suspects have admitted to the offense in their caution statement. Nana Ojima has more in the following report.
The suspects were charged by prosecution on 3 counts of conspiracy to mine without lawful authority and mining without authority. They were also charged with possession of firearms and ammunition without lawful authority. According to prosecution, the suspects were arrested in an operation on the 27th July 2025 at Old Atetim in the Adanse Asokwa district of the Ashanti region for alleged engagement in illegal mining along the Subin and Jimmy rivers.
You have a Bololi number for your head? No head.
The operation was led by CEO of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu Korte, with her team and personnel from the Ashanti South Regional Police Command.
So what has happened is that actively they are on high alert. So any strange movement, they move out. But we are not too much into them now because you see, now we have the machine, the honest account.
According to the police, the suspects were actively mining at the time of their arrest. Prosecution told the court that 4 semi-automatic pump action guns and 20 BB live cartridges were retrieved from them. The police further indicated 11 excavator machines were seen at the mining sites. Part of 4 of them had been removed to immobilize the equipment. The 7 excavators were transported to the regional police headquarters and impounded. Prosecution says efforts are underway to get the one who is said to be at large. For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Bekwai.
Now, Minister for Energy John Jinapor has told Parliament some estates in Accra alleged to have illegally connected homes to the national grid will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. 2 weeks ago, an ECG task force uncovered several homes in Rehoboth Estate in Accra were found to have illegally connected homes, and responding to questions about reducing the losses of the Electricity Company of Ghana, John Jinapor explained that the management of the estate involved will be prosecuted.
Loss reduction program, which is part of the reforms being undertaken by ECG, among others, to reduce commercial losses, improve energy accounting through the installation of meter management systems, compliant repayment meters, specifically replacement of overaged and obsolete meters, replacement of faulty meters, and installation of new service connections. HCG has also constituted some task force, and they are making progress. Because recently, you would have heard that some estates have been busted, and we are arranging them before court. I'm happy to announce that there have been some significant improvement in the revenue collection following these measures that we've put in place.
Well, government says it is working to conclude a renegotiation of power purchase agreement, along with other measures to reduce ECG's losses.
The amount paid to IPPs equals what was paid to IPPs for the whole of 2024. And so if you look at the figure that IPPs have received from ECG for this year, by middle of the year, we had reached what was paid to IPPs the whole of last year. And so if you talk to the IPPs, we've tried to stay current based on what we inherited in terms of the arrangement from the previous administration. Aside that, I've directed as minister that ECG closes all their accounts, which they have complied, and operate one single account. And with that single account, as minister, PURC, Energy Commission, all of us can monitor the amount that comes into the account. We've also directed that they make no payments until at the end of the month, so that we can use the cash waterfall mechanism to apportion and distribute the revenues.
Now, he wants to be a soldier, and he's not letting the streets slow him down. While his mother hawks sachet water in East Legon traffic at night, 10-year-old Samuel turns her ice chest into a desk and studies under car lights. He wants to become successful one day so he can wipe the sweat of his mother's face. And MF Adeti has more.
On this busy street of East Legon, dreams do not wait for perfect conditions. They fight to survive.
Drink. 4+1, 5. And I have
on this busy street, 10-year-old Samuel is chasing his dream to serve his country as a soldier. His study table, the mother's ice chest, and the study room, this pavement. His study lamp, the bright lights from passing vehicles.
My name is Samuel Opong.
Your name is Samuel Opong. And how old are you?
10 years.
You're 10 years. Okay. What class are you?
Class 4.
Class 4. Okay. So when you close from school, you come here to do what? What do you do here?
Do my homework.
Before the city wakes, Samuel's mother, Abigail, is already cleaning offices at the University of Professional Studies. But this is just the start of her day.
Me pon na mama na aba ha se ono so pon na mama na aba na enyina ya wo ha se titama e bedu fe no wada nti me ma ne dikan ye homework na ansa na ye dru fe nti oni odware wie ya no wada me kokre na no 5:30.
Okay.
Na maba ha se 1. Okay. Ti me pon 1 na no so apon 23 no ba na me jai ade ne to na ma kire no homework nti o wie a na ma koto aso
By midday through to evening, the uniform changes. Now, she's a hawker navigating impatient drivers and scorching heat, all for one reason: Samuel. For Samuel, education is everything. After school, he joins his mother on the street, but his books are never far from his hands. That gives him joy. His dream? Becoming a military officer.
What do you want to become?
Soldier.
What?
Soldier.
A soldier?
Abigail dreams of owning a beauty shop one day, but right now, every step she takes is to help Samuel march towards his future. Just like Samuel and Abigail, many hawkers and their children dream beyond the traffic and beyond the struggles.
On that inspiring note, we take a break on JoyNews Prime, but still to come, scientists are pushing into cropping as a lifeline as erratic weather and shrinking rainfall take a toll on farmers. You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is JoyNews Prime.
Well, to some other story, National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party have taken strong positions on the Electoral Commission's fresh decision to rerun elections in 19 polling stations to determine the winner in the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections. The Electoral Commission is taking another shot in an attempt to determine a winner. The Commission has, in the latest press statement today, says it has engaged the NDC and the NPP and has resolved to rerun the elections in 19 outstanding polling stations instead of 37. You recall that the EC's several attempts to complete the collation process proved futile as the process was marred by violence. Today, after a series of consultations, the EC is announcing they will make another attempt on July 11, and this time not collation but a rerun. Director of Corporate Services at the EC, Dr. Bosman Asari, assured Parliament days ago that they will conduct a rerun of the elections in Ablekuma North.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. The Commission strongly believes that for the processes that have gone on so far, if we go back to the good people of this country that we are abolishing everything, it will not be good for our democracy. It will not be good for our democracy. Thank you. So let's allow the process to continue. Thank you.
The Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, rejected the EC's move, describing it as bogus, and he spoke on the Pulse a while ago.
Protection of the police to enable us complete the coalition process and declare the parliamentary results for the Ablekmanov constituency. You also remember that on the 29th or so, it was Friday, that they went to Parliament. He was asked questions specifically on whether there is a court action that is restraining the Electoral Commission from proceeding to collate and declare. They indicated that it was because of security issues, and they said that they are ready if the security is provided for them to collate the 3 polling stations. So these are consistency in terms of the reportage. So for us to wake up, then we come for a meeting, you tell us that this, and that's why all the parties stood their position. We know that the Electoral Commission has a record of which they have been able to collate. And I will tell you, the Domingo Abena, they were not pink sheets. That particular polling station, they went ahead. They declared a rerun of that particular polling station. So what has changed? They told Parliament that they are ready to declare. They are ready to collate and declare. And you just come and tell us that you are doing 19 polling stations. Where is it coming from? You think we are fools in this country? We're not going to accept it. That if you check My Joy online, 28th of December, you are a place of record too. They indicated their ability to conduct a rerun of some polling station or one polling station in Domingo Abena. That never came on, but they went ahead and did a declaration.
Let's take to the Ablekmanov constituency.
The Electoral Commission's decision to do a rerun is bogus, and which we as a party will not accept it. The General Secretary will be doing a press conference tomorrow and will lay bare to the facts of the matter. These are legal matters, and I don't think that the Electoral Commission's decision can supersede the decision of the High Court.
Meanwhile, the NDC, however, disagrees with the NPP, backing the EC's decision to do a rerun. Mustafa Gbande is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC.
Indeed, the same way we went to plead with the people of Ghana in December 2024 to give His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a chance. On any occasion, the NDC will rally around and go for an election, given that that election would be held within the laws of this country. Haruna's argument have no place in law. It has no place in politics. Indeed, the MPP at this stage is afraid of going to an election because they know that the consensus call, an agreement by the people of Ghana, that the MPP represented, participated in corruption, mismanagement of this country, that will manifest in the 19 polling stations we are going to hold. So they are afraid to go for that election.
Now, as erratic weather and shrinking rainfall hit farmers hard, scientists are pushing for intercropping as a lifeline. The practice mixing cereal crops with nitrogen fixing plants like Pygionepia boosts soil health, improves yield and shields farms from climate shocks. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has more in today's episode of Climate Focus.
In the last farming season, Ghana witnessed yet another unprecedented long dry spell, destroying nearly 1 million acres of land. Thousands of farmers in 8 regions of the country lost their source of livelihood as they watched their hard labor bear no fruit. Every year we get beautiful harvests, but this year hasn't been good. It rains heavily during June, July, but not this year. The plants have failed to grow. This year seems no different. The rains came in late and some farmers are already counting their losses. Farmers in Ijua, one of Ghana's food baskets, are reeling under the impact of climate change.
It's expensive preparing the land. In the end, if you don't get anything, it hurts.
In fact, I feel so Edi kan toma yetimi koye no esate ya ekobe 3 weeks ebeto kura to kakra bi nti e mane no baye na hyehye.
But they may soon find relief. At the Crops Research Institute's outstation in the locality, farmers growing on large, vast tracts of lands have gathered to find solutions to their troubles. Scientists from the Research Institute are exposing them to a climate-smart farming practice of intercropping cereals and legumes. On a parcel of land, maize, a major staple grown by the farmers here, have been cultivated together with a leguminous shrub, pigeon pea. This sustainable farming practice enhances resilience to climate variability, improves resource use efficiency, and reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Dr. Eric Owusu-Dankwa is an agronomist.
So this is just 3 months old. Give it a year, it becomes like almost a tree, and it gives shade. Shading is very important when there is no rains, to conserve moisture and to be able to help the crops which are growing with it.
I grew my maize with the pigeon pea. They grew beautifully. If it had rained heavily, I would have made a bountiful harvest.
Well, away from that, President John Mahama says Ghana is taking steps to deepen cooperation with India in key sectors like vaccine production, agriculture, and defense. This follows consultations between Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister and the Indian High Commissioner. Ghana has officially requested the signing of MOUs covering vaccine manufacturing, supply of agricultural machinery, and defense cooperation. President Mahama disclosed it during a joint press conference with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Ghana for a 2-day official visit, the first day by an Indian Prime Minister in 30 years.
Research in Ayurveda, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. We've also signed an MOU on cultural exchange between our two countries, and also an MOU between the Bureau of India Standards and the Ghana Standards Authority. Following consultations between our Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Indian High Commissioner, we also have requested the signing of MOUs on vaccine manufacture and production, MOU on supply of agricultural machinery and implements, and an MOU on defense cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, this visit could not have happened at a better time, as government is committed to pursuing its reset agenda to provide the needed support to the Ghanaian people. Government will therefore leverage on its relationship with like-minded countries such as India to achieve our set objectives. Both countries will work to deepen economic and investment relations at a time that Ghana is undergoing economic restructuring due to the debt treatment we're undergoing and the IMF program. Going forward, Ghana and India intend to pursue these engagements through diplomatic mechanisms, including Foreign Office consultations with each other, as well as the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation, to give effect to the intended outcomes of our engagement for mutual benefit. Our esteemed guest, Prime Minister, will be decorated with the prestigious National Award of the Office of the Order of the Star of Ghana at a state banquet.
Well, from chart-stopping lyrics to academic headlines, Chobodom is back in the spotlight. But this time, it's not about viral song. In a stunning upset at the Buno regional qualifiers of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz, Chobodom SHTS knocked out the much-fancied Kintampo SHS. They've secured a second straight ticket to the national stage, flipping the town's image from meme to momentum. Colin Frimpong has more.
A spectacular battle of brains opened the Buno Ace qualifiers as Chobodom Senior High Technical School stunned the much-touted regional giant Kintampo SHS. Kintampo, who had made 4 consecutive appearances at the national championship since 2021, were seen as favourites heading into the contest, but Chobodom had other plans. In a dramatic finish, the edge passed Kintampo by just 3 points, delivering one of the region's biggest upsets.
It brings down the proud and raise the humble. So we are moving slowly and humble, and the schools out there, we are moving slowly and by God's grace.
Which schools are the proud ones? Specific ones?
No, I can't really mention any name now.
Went through the social media, people are saying Kintampo. We got a little bit scared, but the almighty kings.
The almighty kings.
In the second contest, it was all Mount Carmel. Our Lady of Mount Carmel Girls' SHS from Techiman delivered a dominant performance, outclassing their opponents with ease. The 1-8 stage finalists in both 2021 and 2023 made their intent clear. They are heading to the nationals to make an even bigger impact this year.
Pepper them.
I don't understand.
Oh, they should prepare. We are coming with pepper. We're going to give them pepper. What so? Oh, give up pepper. Oh yes. They should prepare because we are coming and we are not going to take it easy. Like we're not going to take it lightly.
The qualifiers wrapped up with Ekunfi Amiao SHS and Techiman SHS securing the final 2 slots from the region, rounding off an intense day of academic excellence.
From first school, I have noticed that they learn hard and then they took first in every competition they go. That's why.
So you want your school to ship them?
Yeah, we will ship them. They should prepare and wait for us. Aztec, we are coming over there.